Happy anniversary, Hornet! We've got one of Tamiya's 40th anniversary Hornet buggies. The Hornet EVO is actually the 2024 version of the original Hornet buggy, and is basically the same exact vehicle with a few little updates to make it a 2024 version. So this buggy basically shares a lot of the same parts as the original Hornet, however it does come with 4-wheel independent suspension, the gearbox from a DT02 buggy, oil-filled shocks, and a full set of ball bearings. So we're excited, just like you are, to see what comes in this box. We're going to take it to the workbench, we're going to crack the box open, we're going to show you what comes inside. Let's go. Okay. Hornet EVO. Cool looking box art as usual from Tamiya. Kind of that line art slash realistic drawing. And of course a realistic drawing there. Powered by Hobbywing. ESC, kind of hard to see the side of the box. Another picture. Some stats on the vehicle. Required items. Don't think the end plates have anything. And then more kind of another same view of the front of the box you get on the side here. And then the rear view of the buggy. Okay, let's get inside this box and see what it comes with. So the Hornet EVO still has that kind of Tamiya-ish boxing. Has the center rib here, the box full of all your hardware, and then of course split in half with all the parts. So we're going to remove the box off the bench here and then get to each bag individually. First thing we're going to have is the body. Still the great little buggy body, pre-cut here, not cut on the side here, but pre-cut here as well. For the rear wing, I think this is probably where the driver mounts. His head mounts in there, you put a screw in there and you put a sticker over the top. All these are cut out too. Nice touch. The Hobbywing THW1060 RTR ESC. This is a waterproof brushed ESC. Handle 2 or 3S LiPo. I would be careful with the 3S LiPo. 2S is probably going to be solid all day long. 3S, just be careful with that. There's that. And then of course the rear wing. Once you cut it out, it'll fit on there nice, but nice little rear wing. And we have wheel hexes. Looks like maybe bell cranks. Really wide wheel hexes there. Some other chassis parts. Looks like, these look like the front shock, the new shock setup for the oil-filled shocks, shock mounts. Look at the front skid here. We have the side Nerf bars and battery door. All one piece, nice. And then a driver. Back of the head, front of the head. You get 2 driver setups here. I'm not quite sure which one we're using just yet. This one, if you're mounting, let's see, the driver has kind of a hole on top of his head there. If you're mounting this to the roof, I'm gonna guess you're probably using that. If you're mounted to the chassis using this, again, I don't know until we get to the instructions which one we're using. And then 2 light pods for each side of the car. Just gonna move this stuff out of the way here. The Hornet chassis. So it does have the standard shock mounts, but once you put those other ones on there, they kind of adapt to this. That allows you to use the oil-filled shocks. The rest of it looks standard issue Hornet. The wheels, I've always liked these wheels. Kind of the Volkswagen-ish off-road wheels from the past. It's a 3-piece wheel. Has your inner piece that goes in the tire itself, your back plate here, and then your front plate, and then when you put the screws through there and the nuts in there, it squeezes it all together. You kind of got like early bead locks. No glue required. So front and rear. The nails are for the front, wides are for the rear. Just gonna bring out all these little bags because it's a bunch of little bags. Here is the new gearbox. 2 halves of the gearbox and the motor cover. Man, they're bright plastic. Look at that, ABS plastic. There's that. These look like the rear hubs, perhaps. So you have your caster blocks, I guess if you want to call them caster blocks, your rear hubs for the independent suspension, and wheel hexes. You get 2 of those, left and right, so they're equal on each side. So these are probably 0 degrees, since they don't really give a separate number, 2 and 2, so they're 0 degree rear hubs. And then it looks like all of these suspension arm parts. Front arms. Kind of have a little gull wing shape to them. Rear arms. Also a slight, well, the arm kind of has a slight gull wing to it, but the hinge pin points are across from each other. So this just gives a lower mounting point for the shock. And then probably all the remaining support parts for the new suspension system. Looks like steering blocks, body mount, probably the, oh, this looks like it might be a steering rack, maybe? Servo mounts, maybe some bracing for that. Okay. And then, even though the car itself has been updated, Tamiya is still giving us the old school wheels and tires. So the slightly ribbed front tire, really small profile, the smoothie, and your step pin-ish, what does it say? Super gripper rear tire. Look how small the wheels are. Yeah, I guess so. Once it pushes in there, I guess, huh? Anyway, your wheels and tires. And then your clear antenna tube. Okay, so now before we get to the box with all the support hardware, we're going to get this off of here so we got a little bit more room. Okay. And a box of goodies. Go ahead and dump that out there. All right, front bumper. 540 Mabuchi motor. 540 SH Mabuchi motor. Has the plugs here that'll already attach to the Hobby Wing speed control. Internal gears for the transmission. Oil-filled shock bodies. I'm gonna guess that they're different lengths since there's a front and a back. So yeah, so you got fronts are shorter, rears are taller, longer. These are good as far as RTR plastic bodied shocks. Tamiyas are always really good. You could upgrade to an aluminum bodied shock if you want to, but I think for the start we're going to go ahead and just rock these. These will be good. These are the shock parts, pistons, preload clips, internal spacers, spring retainers, and lower eyelet. There's probably 4 of these. Yeah. I'm going to keep these in the blue bag because they may be different for the front and rear shocks. So, but that's basically what you're getting. Servo saver parts. 2 different kinds of servo saver parts. All right. I'm going to carefully open these so we can really seal them. Or carefully open these so we can reseal them as I cut the heck out of them. All right, so this is your A bag. Got some tools, a couple metal parts in there, maybe some mounts perhaps. The motor spacer, gasket, mounting hardware, more mounting hardware, more mounting hardware, full ball bearings. Yes. That is a great upgrade for this car. I'm glad they put this in this car. I was going to have to get these anyway. I was going to build it with these anyway, but good thing they put them in there. So, internal parts for your differential. Some more mounting stuff. Pinion. And then we have the rear dog bones, out drives, and transmission. Looks like hinge pins too. These are the slide-in hinge pins, the screw-type hinge pin. And then looks like some internal rods for the transmission. Bag A. Okay, bag B. Servo tape. Mounting hardware. More mounting hardware and some threaded pipe, probably for the steering rack. More hinge pins, turnbuckles, and front axles. Looks like a couple set screws in there too. More mounting hardware. All of your rod ends. And zip ties, and of course an L wrench, and then more bearings. These are going to be for the steering, so ball bearing steering, nice. Bag C, got all the shock parts, got the fluid, soft. More ball bearings, probably for the outer part of the wheel. These probably go in the transmission and perhaps the inner part of the wheel. 2, 4, 6. So these are probably, yeah, outer part of the wheel. More mounting hardware. More mounting hardware. There's so much mounting hardware. And all of the shock parts. O-rings, bladders, and looks like you can do 2 different kinds of bladders. They may even have you put the reds. I think the reds are stiffer, so reds would go in the back, green's probably in the front. Oh, shock shafts. Looks like a couple other parts in there too. E-clips. And then your springs. Very short springs, very long rear springs. Moving on to bag D. This is a little bag. It has in it mounting hardware, Those are probably for the servos, or servo. Those ones right there with the built-in flange. And all your body clips. And last but not least, the old school style sticker sheet. Very cool. Love that. Love that they kind of kept the same look, just kind of upgraded everything to be a little bit better. Window masks. So I suppose those are going to stay, since there's window masks, those don't get cut out. Probably for support of the hood, or for the roof. This one can get cut out, but keeping these will keep the support in the roof. So that's what I'm guessing that's for. And then, the instruction manual. Paint you're going to need, tools you're going to need, setting up your electronics ahead of time. The build, which we will be doing a full video on this. So keep an eye out for that. We're using the stock motor in ESC. We have a shorty servo. Let's see if it actually requires a shorty servo. Nope, can use a standard servo. But we have a shorty one that we'll put in. Well, maybe we'll look to see if we got a standard one, but right now we'll put a shorty in. Rear suspension. Oh, that's front suspension. Ball bearing steering, which is ahead of the steering of the arms. Ball bearings. Shock build, shock attachment, rear shocks, getting these all together. If I recall, this was not an easy task from the original Hornet. So there may be some trick to that. Have to do a search on the web and look. And then installing new battery, the battery door, some tuning adjustments, toe out, painting and stickering the body set. I think it's just a single color, PS5, so it's single black, and then the outside is all stickers, so that's makes it pretty easy. You'd have to put holes though for stuff like the wing, body mounts, that kind of thing. Driver figure, putting it all together. And then options. Oh, so if you want to run a different wheel, that's what those longer hexes were for. That's cool. I may end up putting different wheels on it. If you want to run different motors, there's actual motor or different gearing. Is that what that's for? What is that for? Oh, it's for a 380 size motor. For a smaller motor, you can put this adapter. We won't be doing that. We'll be keeping the same big motor in it. And then, of course, all your breakdown of your parts. And there you go. Everything that comes in the brand new Hornet EVO from Tamiya. So we're really excited to get this buggy out of the box and get it built. We never had an original Hornet. We did have original Frog and Grasshopper and some of the other ones, but never the Hornet. So this is going to actually be a lot of fun to see how this works with the new upgraded parts. One thing we do love, though, is it still keeps the same original look as the Hornet. So we're ready to get this thing built and go have some fun with it. Thanks for watching. Please make sure you stay tuned because we're going to have a full build video of this vehicle like we normally do. And then we're going to get out and have a good time with it. Thanks for watching.